Hey, welcome to 24 Chambers of Film. I'm Steven. Today, I got a movie review for you for the new Ryan Coogler film, Sinners. So, yeah, Sinners, my initial thoughts on this film, if you don't know what this movie's about, it basically follows these two twin brothers in 1938 in Mississippi, and they want to open their own juke joint. And they've been gone. They've been in the city in Chicago. They've come back and they kind of see a bunch of familiar faces and stuff like that, letting people know that our grand opening is tonight and that they're starting this juke joint. And, they bring their cousin along who's a musician who plays guitar, does the blues. And as the night progresses, they get invaded by vampires. And yeah, that's the simple setup of the film. But initial thoughts, this movie was fucking great. I really enjoyed this movie. I was hyped for it going in. I thought that first official trailer was pretty amazing. And then the second trailer was good, but I thought it felt like it revealed too much. After seeing the movie, I didn't feel like the trailers revealed too much. I felt like I got a lot more than I was expecting, which was good. And I think Michael B. Jordan was great. The acting was amazing. Ryan Coogler's direction, the visuals were just on point. Very, very beautiful landscapes and just great composition. Very well done. Music was great. Music plays a big part in this movie, and it was captivating to say the least. It was a great theater experience. I'm so happy I went to the theater. You should definitely go see this movie in the theater. Initial thoughts, I thought it was a good home run for Ryan Coogler. And I'm glad that he's back doing original content or just things outside of Marvel, because his last two films were Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. And I'm not the biggest fans of those movies. I don't think, they're terribly made or anything like that. I just think they're overrated, especially the first Black Panther. I didn't even see Wakanda Forever, so I can't really speak on that, but I wasn't big on the original Black Panther. The first one, I thought it was good. I thought it was fine, but not best picture worthy in my personal opinion. I do like Creed. I thought Creed was very well done. He only directed the first one. And I still need to see Fruitvale Station, which looks great, but I haven't seen it yet. So, but Sinners knocked it out of the park, in my opinion. What really worked in Sinners for me was the visual storytelling by Ryan Coogler and his cinematographer, who's done his other films. And her name is Autumn Dorald Arcapa. I know I probably butchered her last name for sure. But yeah, their compositions and lighting, it was shot on film, shot on Ultra Panavision 65 millimeter, and it looked fucking gorgeous. The landscapes, like I said, the time period, they captured it very well. The sweatiness of that time period, and it just looks so gorgeous to look at. It was a treat. I really, really wish I saw this at the Vista on 70 millimeter. I think that would be the ideal way to watch it. IMAX is great and IMAX film is awesome, but I'm not a big fan of when the aspect ratio changes. I want to stick to one aspect ratio, unless it's like happening in the movie, necessarily like it comes at night or waves like that. I thought was very well done when it comes to aspect ratio changes. But when it comes to IMAX, the IMAX, it gets bigger because they record some scenes in IMAX and then it goes back to the normal ratio. With Sinners, the normal ratio is 2:76, which if you watch it in 70 millimeter projected, that's what it is the whole time. And that would have been perfect for me, it would have been perfect. And they just would have been dope seeing it projected on film. It must have looked so fucking gorgeous because it looked great on a DCP. I can't even imagine how gorgeous it would have looked on projected on film. But visuals, they just killed it. It was so good. Like I said, the shot selection, the way the camera movements, it looked very well executed. The acting was amazing. Everybody was great. Like from Hailee Steinfeld, from Michael B. Jordan playing the twins, they really felt like different people. It didn't feel like Michael B. Jordan playing, two characters. That he really gave them a distinct personality and voice to each one. Their names are Smoke and Stack. I personally prefer Stack more, but they were both great. And Hailee Steinfeld, like I said, she's great. Who else is the rest? Like I said, all the cast is great. Miles Cannon, he plays Sammy. He plays their cousin. He's a musician, plays the blues, and he's a big part of this story, but he is great. His voice is amazing. I did not expect him to have that type of voice when he's saying or just talking. It's just like he's got a very deep kind of old soul voice that was great. Jack O'Connell plays Remick. He's the villain. He's the head vampire in this movie, and he is phenomenal as well. He really gave nuance and depth to this villain, which I kind of was thinking that it was going to be just kind of a basic head vampire villain, but he really gave that vampire depth. And Ryan Coogler as well wrote him as an interesting type of vampire. I thought it was very, very well executed, and he was very compelling. Also, who else was great? Everybody was great. Yao, who's a Asian owner and friends with the Michael B. Jordan's characters. Lee Jung Lee plays his wife. She was great too. And Jamie Lawson was great, and Omar Benson Miller was great. Who's the other person that I'm missing? Wumi Mosaku, who plays Annie. She is Michael B. Jordan's love interest, the character of Smoke, and they have a great connection and chemistry, and they have a kind of a very bleak backstory. I won't reveal what it is, but they were great. They have a great sex scene, I think, too, in the movie. But she was awesome. She's into black magic and stuff like that. It's very spiritual. But the best character, in my opinion, the standout performance was Delroy Lindo. He plays Delta Slim, a blues player who plays at their juke joint, and he's just so fucking good. He's one of the underrated actor that doesn't get talked enough about. He's a brilliant actor. He is one of his best performances. He's great in The Five Bloods, which I thought was an amazing performance, but he is just as good, maybe a little bit better. I mean, he's so good. Like, he's like a, kind of a drunk blues player, older guy, but man, he plays it beautifully and with a lot of nuance, and he just knocks it out the park. His eyes, Delroy Lindo's eyes are just amazing. They're captivating, and he could do so many things with his eyes. His emotions phenomenal, and he was a standout performance in this film. He's so good, and his character was amazing, I thought. This film definitely riffs on like a bunch of vampire movies, but like one that you kind of get is From Dusk Till Dawn, because this movie really does great world building and sets up the characters before any of the horror really comes in. Kind of like From Dusk Till Dawn does that too, where the first half you're thinking this is a crime on the run thriller film with George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino, on the run, and they kidnap this family. And then they go to the bar for the rendezvous, and vampires come. This kind of has a similar feel, obviously different scenarios and stuff like that, but really sets up that first hour, setting up. And I love that first hour of them setting up the characters, the relationships, everything. And it's just photographed beautifully. Everything it made you care for the characters. So when the horror comes, you really feel for like the characters when some of the characters die, and you're like, oh shit, fuck. Because they really set them up very well and really felt like gave them time, before they get killed off or turned into a vampire. So I really, really appreciated that, and I thought Ryan Coogler wrote it great that way, and they executed it beautifully, in my opinion. There's so many good moments. I don't want to go too much into it. There's a great musical scene in the middle that I think a lot of people are talking about that kind of brings a lot of cultures into it. Very well done. So good. The tension in this movie is brilliant. There's these two scenes where, because they use this old, the old thing. It's a traditional thing in vampires where they have to be invited, before they come in anywhere. They use that beautifully in this movie to create great suspense and tension, and I absolutely loved it. I thought there's two scenes that come up. One character, Cornbread, and then one when Jack O'Connell, Remick's character, shows up with the other vampires, and they're trying to persuade them to, invite them in and stuff like that, and to join the vampire life. And God, it is so fucking good. It is so good, and the tension is brilliant. And there's a lot of emotion in those scenes, which I wasn't expecting. It was very poignant, the movie, more than I was expecting going in, and it really delivered in those aspects. I think elevates this movie from just being a regular, horror movie, and it is entertaining. It has all that horror stuff, but that first half really makes that horror stuff work in the second half, and once it hits, very well done. It was great seeing an original film in theaters that was engaging, and you wanted to know how it was going to end, what was going to happen next, and how it's going to develop. So yeah, highly recommend it for that alone. Just those elements that I just talked about. All right, so now what didn't really work for me, my gripes or any flaws that I had with the movie, which are not many, honestly. I would say that it did a pretty good job with practical blood. I think there's a few moments where I could tell it was CGI, so that's always like a little knock for me. But overall, they had practical blood, which made me happy for the most part, And yeah, they enhanced it maybe at some points with CGI, but it didn't look terrible. So kudos to them for actually, having real blood and stuff like that in the film. I felt like, honestly, all my issues really come in is in that third act, the finale. Okay, one thing that I don't like in movies when villains specifically do this, they have the good guys, basically basically checkmate, and this character, you know, is talking too much. He talks. It was okay in the beginning, but then he starts continuing to talk, and of course that creates time for the good guys for them to kind of get back in the game. That bugs the shit out of me. I feel like that's a trope that it needs to die. I don't like this. It didn't feel justified enough for the length that it went of him talking too long. It's like, bro, just get to it. You're gonna, like you just feel like kind of like, oh God, okay. He needs to talk a little bit more because we know what's about to happen. So that predictability of the villain talking too much, all you need to do is just pull the trigger or do the action, and he basically, the movie's over and he wins. That happens, in my opinion, in this movie. No, not my opinion. It happens in this movie. That's my biggest gripe about this movie. Everything else I thought was executed and flowed well. The whole message of black culture being stolen by the white people. But if there's nuance to it, because Jack O'Connell's character is not, he's white, but he's experienced that because he's an Irish guy, and he's experienced that with Christianity in the past. So it was an interesting, like I said, they made it more interesting than just kind of like, a white vampire coming in to just take their culture, but it's a little, I guess that's the other thing. It's a little obvious, the message, but everything is so well executed that it doesn't really affect it, in my opinion. It's done very well. But yeah, my biggest gripe really is that whole thing when the villain is talking too much when he should just end it. So that's honestly my biggest issue in the movie. Other than that, the movie was pretty damn near perfect in that sense. And then, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I just don't like that trope, and I think it needs to die. And I get why it happens, but I feel like there could have been a cooler way for this climax to come together. He could have gone even bigger, but he was trying to keep a mystery thing that happens later on. But I just feel like he could have done it better instead of having the villain just kind of keep talking and talking. So yeah, anyways, that's what didn't work for me. Okay, so my final thoughts. This movie was pretty awesome. You should definitely go see it if you want to go watch something new. Definitely go watch it in theaters. Don't wait for this to go on streaming. Go support this movie in theaters. It's a very well made movie. Definitely deserves your money to go out of your house and watch it in a movie theater with a group of people, because it's a great theater experience, in my opinion. This movie also has really one of the best mid-credit scenes that actually made my score go higher. I had it at a certain score, and then it bumped it up 2 points. I thought it was a great fucking mid-credit scene that really was poignant, and I'm so happy it happened. It was awesome. You'll see what it is. So don't leave right away when the movie ends. Just stay a little bit longer to see the mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene, I mean. There's a post-credit scene, but it's not like it's not nothing like really that's going to advance the story. the one in the mid credit scene does advance the story, and it's very well done, very well executed. And it made me happy, but also sad at the same time, because it was just a lot of emotions in that scene that kind of culminate to that moment. And it's really well done. I really fucking loved it. And I was like, dang, sometimes I'm not crazy about mid credit scenes and stuff, because I feel like, why didn't you just put it in the movie? Or I felt like it worked appropriately for this movie. So yeah. So don't leave right away when the movie ends. Yeah, so my rating is 8.8 out of 10. This movie is a big recommendation for me. I think you guys got to watch this. Like I said, in theaters. There's a lot to love here, and I can't wait for Ryan Coogler's next film. Apparently, he's going to be doing a reboot of X-Files, and that sounds fucking awesome in his hands. I can't wait to see that. Hope he sticks with that. That's the early rumors that he's going to do an X-Files movie. I'm not a super huge X-Files person, but I do like X-Files, the episodes that I've seen, and I've seen a decent amount. And I think Ryan Coogler could probably do something pretty fucking cool with that. So I wish it was an original movie, but I'll take a IP that's been kind of dormant for a while. So X-Files that's a cool one. But yeah, definitely go see Sinners. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what was your favorite scene? Who's your favorite character? What you didn't like about it? Am I overhyping this? I think this movie maybe is, I wouldn't say, I think it's perfectly hyped. Maybe some people are maybe overhyping it, but I think it's a great movie. So I don't think it's overhyped because it's a great movie, but maybe some people are calling it like perfect masterpiece. I don't think it's perfect. Like I said, that there's that, my gripe that happens in the climax. And I think if that didn't happen, this movie would be pretty close to a masterpiece then. But it was pretty, again, everything else is so great that that's not going to destroy and bring the whole movie down, in my opinion. So yeah, go watch Sinners if you haven't seen it. This is 24 Chambers of Film. I'm Steven. We got more reviews coming out, more film stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit a like and subscribe. Till next time.